So, what I'm doing here today, I'm going to be reviewing Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and I'm also going to walk through the story and say how it starts off the timeline. Yeah, my next review will be Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, and we're going to work our way down the timeline. That's all you need to know. No more intro. Let's look into my Hyrule Historia. So when you open the book, you get all this cool concept art of Skyward Sword because it was a tie-in with the game. That was kind of a big thing about the game. It was like, oh, it's the first in the timeline, you know, like, because I don't know if people were like this before because I wasn't really involved in the Legend of Zelda community before, but like maybe they were like, oh, how do all these games connect? Once you get past the Skyward Sword concept art, you get to the timeline. Yeah, so here it is. This is all the timeline in all its glory. Sorry for the bad quality. I'm recording with a phone. And first things first, spoilers for Skyward Sword. So just saying that because I'm about to just say the full story. So skip ahead to this number to skip to my review of the game if you just wanted to see the review. So here it says that it all started with three goddesses, and they created the Triforce. Nehru, something and something. I don't know. Goddess of courage, power, and wisdom. And they made the Triforce. And they made the world. And then they just left, like went to another dimension or something and left the Triforce in Hyrule. And they left this other goddess, Hylia, to protect it. This other goddess, Hylia, we're just going to be referring to her as the goddess from here on. So naturally, a bunch of demons are going for the Triforce because, yeah, of course, if they just leave it there. Demise was leading, he had this demon army and he was going for the Triforce. They did a battle and Hylia got all the humans who survived, gave them the Triforce, and launched them into the sky, creating Skyward. And she put up the clouds. And then after that, Hylia and all the non-humans, so the Gorons, the Kikwis, all those peoples, they all fought Demise and sealed him down into the ground or something. But he didn't die. Hylia tried to destructify him with the Triforce, but that's illegal. So she became a human. Cue Skyward Sword. The goddess gets reborn as Zelda, which is the human she turned into, basically, but it's not like she turned into it and kept her memories. She doesn't know. Link and Zelda do their ceremony stuff. They do the ceremony, the wing ceremony, but then the seal on Demise is so weak that from his seal, he's not breaking out of the seal yet, but from his seal, he has the power to summon his right-hand demon, Girahim. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Anyway, so Girahim then crowns himself the Demon Lord and starts summoning monsters all over to try and find the goddess. So then he finds out that Zelda is in the sky and he makes the tornado. He makes the tornado, if you didn't know. So then she gets sucked down to the surface. Link gets the goddess sword on Skyloft and jumps into the abyss. Meanwhile, back on the surface, Zelda finds out she's the goddess and starts questing around goddess stuff and gets captured by Bokos, but gets freed by Impa. After finishing her quests and stuff, she tries to go to the past to strengthen Demise's seal, but Girahim shows up, but Link shows up and distracts Girahim, and they make it through to the past while simultaneously destroying the portal. Meanwhile, Demise is breaking out of the seal, and Link and Groose have to keep smashing him back in. Meanwhile, Link is powering up his sword with sacred flames and stuff until eventually it becomes the Master Sword, which he used to fix the other time portal. Okay, we're almost at the end. He goes through to visit Zelda, and she says that to seal Demise, she has to like basically seal herself too. Which she does. So she seals herself, and anyway, it works, of course, because if it didn't, literally, he wouldn't be sealed, because she goes back to the past. You get it? Yeah, hopefully you get it. So Link goes back to the future, gets the Triforce in the statue of the goddess. That's where it was. It was in the statue of the goddess next to Skyloft. At the same time, Demise starts to break out of his seal. So he's coming out on the surface. Meanwhile, Link is still getting the Triforce. As soon as he completes the Triforce, the goddess statue falls out of the sky and literally crushes him to his death. And Zelda wakes up. The end. Whew. Finally done. Oh wait, nope, I'm not done. Girahim comes back, grabs Zelda, and takes her through the time portal. Link follows him through the time portal. It's the second time portal. Girahim starts doing a ritual to revive Demise. But Link interrupts and defeats Girahim. The end? Surprise! Demise was being resurrected while Link fought Girahim, and now he's going to take over the world. Uh-oh. This is the review part, and I'm going to be talking about my opinions. First, let's talk about one of the most divisive features, the controls. So I don't mind the motion controls, but what I do mind is the Wii Remote Nunchuck combo. I would just so much rather have a regular controller, or even the Joy-Cons. I don't know what it is, just it's not that comfortable. Like, maybe it's just because they're not matching, it's like one straight controller and then a curved one. Another thing is the calibration really gets messed up a lot. I just couldn't get it to stay straight for like more than like 10 seconds, and also the Beetle was glitching out a lot for me, so I couldn't really use that well. But besides all that, I love just shooting with a bow with the nunchuck and Wii Remote, rolling bombs, and using my claw shots to shoot from one place to the next. And now characters is where this game really shines. The designs alone, just to look at, are amazing. And they have great personalities, too. Like, one of the best things about the game is how all the characters have day and night cycles. So, for example, the potion seller, or the potion infuser guy or something. During the day, he's, at the shop, mixing the potions. But at night, you can actually go to his house, and he's there with his baby trying to get it to sleep. And it's kind of, it's really immersive. It's really cool. Now, to get to my next point, let me explain one of the core mechanics of the game if you don't already know. So, you live in Skyloft, which is in the sky, if you didn't hear that in the story segment. But if you want to, well, you basically have to if you want to progress in the game, you go down to the surface, and that's where most of the game takes place. Now, the characters on the surface are more plot devices than characters, as in, you can't really see where they live, and whenever you talk to them, they don't really say that much. They just kind of stand around and point you in the right direction. Now, my biggest gripe about this is how disconnected the surface and Skyloft are. They might as well just be whole different dimensions as in other Legend of Zelda games, because it's like, nothing, like in other Legend of Zelda games, sometimes when you do something in the other part of the game, then it affects something in the other part, and not at all. The only time, there's one side quest where you take a character from the surface and you drop them in the sky. Otherwise, there's absolutely no connection. I mean, besides, of course, you and Zelda going down there. Now, the combat is pretty fun, but once you get all the way leveled up, you can basically take out the goblins in one hit, so it does kind of fall away, and it would be fun if there were more, like, sword fighting enemies, because usually you only get, like, maybe once per dungeon, and it would be cool if maybe once in a while you'd see an actually fun enemy to fight in the wild, but you don't at all. And maybe a thought And maybe a thought on how they could be more cohesive is maybe you fly down to the surface and land. Like, you know, you fly over and then jump off your bird. Just like how you drop down on Skyloft. You know, you can like just fly over to the part of Skyloft that you want to. But, you know, I also think that the sky could be more fleshed out. Like, the only things up there are Skyloft and a couple of minigame islands and rocks. And that's basically all. And, yeah, I mean... So, I'm already finished with the video, edited, recorded, all of it. And I forgot to add something that I wanted to add, and this is the last piece. Should you buy the game? For a first-time Legend of Zelda game, if you've never played a Legend of Zelda game, no. I don't think it's that great for a first-time Legend of Zelda game. And, but I enjoyed it for what it is. Definitely not even close to being one of my favorites, just because I found the plot overall slightly boring, maybe just because I already knew what was going to happen. But would I play it again? No, I would not play it again, maybe for like at least 5 years, because until I completely forget everything about it, because I've had more than enough of it. It's a 40-hour game. If you want to dive into that, it's best if you play it all at once. And yeah, so make of it what you will. I would definitely not recommend it as a first Legend of Zelda game, but if you've played most of the Legend of Zelda games and you're like, oh, or like if you're somewhere and you're like, oh, they have a copy of it for like 10, 20 bucks, I'm sure get it, you know? And that's why I have to rank it at number 1 out of all the Zelda games I've reviewed so far. There's not a whole lot more to say about the game. Typical Legend of Zelda fare. If you want to see more about the game, go check out plenty of other reviews. I just didn't want it to take up too much of your time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is basically what I've been wanting to make for a little while now. Hopefully I can release it. And yeah, so next up is going to be the Minish Cap. I'm going through the timeline, which I kind of wish I was going in chronological order, as in real life, you know, like the original one and the second one and all that. But this does add a bit of variety, because we're going to be going back and forth between 3D and 2D games, instead of just going 2D, 3D, and then back to 2D, and then back to 3D. And yeah, so next up is the Minish Cap. I'm going to be doing a live stream probably. My new format is I will probably be live streaming the games, and then taking out all the live streams except for the last one, and then when the review comes out of the game, then you can go in the description of that video and check them all out. So let me know if you want it any different way. Yeah, so hopefully that works out. And if you guys enjoyed, then leave a like. If you did not, leave a dislike. And yeah, I'll probably end my rambling there. I'm very excited to play the Minish Cap, and I will see you guys in the next one.